Good morning, beautiful people. How are you all today? I hope you're well. I'm exceedingly well, and I'm on a train. Look, there's a little train next door, and let me show you where I'm at. Planning far too fast. Let me just, can you pick that up? There we go. I'm at Waterloo, which is just about my most favourite station in London, because Waterloo means I'm going out west, southwest to be precise. I'm off down to Dorset, yay, just for a couple of days. I'm meeting up with my sister and my youngest cousin to go and revisit some of our old haunts from our childhood. Can't wait. I'll try and show you something on the way as we go, out of the window, if not going too fast, because it's gorgeous countryside on the way. So, doors are closing. I think we're off in a second. See you in a minute. Yay! I'm well on my way now. Woo! So, we've just passed through Winchester. Yes, I'm a little more than halfway there, and I just thought I'll quickly tell you a little bit about part of Dorset we're going to. We love it. We love what you do. But also it occurs to me it's a jolly good job I like travelling by train, isn't it? Seeing as this, after this little trip, this month I will have taken, get this, 22 trains. What with the trips to my great aunt and the trip to my mum and the trip this weekend. But I do love it. I mean, look, it's this beautiful, sort of ever-changing and never-ending picture outside. I'm looking out the other window, there's cows over there. I just love the English countryside. Absolutely adore it. Travelling by train to me is so romantic. It's that sort of possibility of adventure. Partings, greetings. I love it, absolutely love it. Anyway, yes, so the landscape is changing as we leave the commuter belt behind and we get further and further out to the country. And the part of Dorset we're going to is known as Purbeck. It's actually known as the Isle of Purbeck because it's a bit that sticks out, and it's surrounded on 3 sides by the sea. Well, 2 sides by the sea and 1 side by Poole Harbour, which is saline. It's a very, very sparsely populated part of the country. It's largely because a lot of the area is given over to nature reserve. A lot of the land is owned by the MOD, Ministry of Defence, which, despite me being a pacifist, I'm quite glad about, because it means that so much of the countryside has been preserved. There's very, very little building. The train station I'm going to get off at is called Wareham, and it's the gateway to Purbeck. It's a lovely little market town. And after Wareham, I've then got a 10-mile bus ride down to the only other town in the area, which is called Swanage, which some of you may know, and that's right on the coast. So my grandparents moved to Swanage in their later years, but prior to that they lived in one of the villages up on the downs. So
the next station is Southampton Airport Parkway. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform edge.
Thank you, you know where we are now. It's Southampton. And then we'll crack on. Yeah, so like I say, it's a very sparsely populated area. So between Wareham when I get off and Swanage where I'm going to, there's just a handful of little villages. They are the quarrying villages. Some of you may know of Purbeck stone, which is what half of London is built from. Beautiful creamy white stone. That is the main industry of the villages where we're going. So I feel like I'm going home almost, you know. I feel like I have more of a connection and more of an affinity with Dorset than I even do with Lancashire. So I can't wait. I'm going to stop for now because people are going to be getting on and off, but I'll be back in a tick. So I'm now officially happier than a pig in mud. I've just got off the train at Wareham, gateway to Purbeck. Now I'm going to pop up the road to catch a bus. There's only one bus an hour and it's due in about 5 minutes. Hopefully the one that's coming takes the top road, because there's only 2 roads to Swanage. One's the top road, one's the bottom road. Bottom road follows the valley, top road goes up through the quarrying villages where my grandparents used to live. So hopefully it's a top road bus and I can show you along the way their old village. I'm hoping over the next couple of days, obviously, that we get up there anyway. So if you don't see it today, I'll show it to you another day. But at the moment the weather's gorgeous. I think it's going to turn in a couple of days, but I don't care. Honestly, I could cry, I'm so happy. This, to me, I'm home. I've come home. My heart is racing on the one hand, but on the other hand I can feel myself just calming and all my cares going away. Look, I'm getting all choked up, how funny. Very, very special place. Right, let's go and find that bus. Oh, I don't know if you'll be able to hear me over this very stiff onshore breeze, but oh, I feel like I've come home. This is Swanage station. When I was really, really, really little, the trains used to run all the way through from Wareham to here. And in recent years, they've been doing up the track. Let me just pan around just slightly to reopen it. And now we have steam trains running down this line again. Oh, that's a stiff breeze. There's not one due though for ages, but I will try. Let's go get some shots at some point this weekend, because they are rather marvellous. So the bus station's just outside the train station, so I've just got off. And now my sister and cousin and his wife aren't due down for a little bit, so I'm going to take myself down to the sea, get myself a bag of chips, because I'm a bit Hank Marvin. But oh, it's been a great ride down here on the bus, which I couldn't film any of because the bus was absolutely chock-a-block packed. And what's great is it was all locals, elderly people, everyone over at least 75, all in their walking shorts, all with you could see the scars on their knees from knee replacement surgery, but they all seem a fit bunch. Kind of makes you think, maybe living down here is the way to go. Oh, gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. So this little street ahead here will take you down to the sea. And a chippy. I'll find you by the beach in a minute. Bliss. Absolute bliss. This is why I love it here. So the bay goes all the way from there. I'll turn you back in a second. That's the old pier sticking out, lifeboat stations over there. Hopefully I'll show you all these places in the next few days. This is Swanage Bay. 3 beautiful miles. Oh, over there, oops, there, that's the Isle of Wight. But 3 beautiful miles of the most gorgeous beach. The end I'm standing in is sort of like the town end, so the tourists are all down this end. My grandparents used to live right up on that cliff, right on the end there. When they moved down here to Swanage in their mid-70s. Earlier on, when they first came here, they were in the mid-40s. They were in, that's alright, carry on. When they originally came down here, they were sort of late 40s, when they were up in the village, beginning their self-sufficient life. You know what? Oh, I do want to come down here and live. It seems like a place to have a very, very healthy life. Walking, swimming, sea air. Oh, I'm so happy. Right, I'm going to go find myself my bag of chips. Oh, and just to say, do you remember when I was at my great aunt Teapot's and I was talking about the ubiquitous shelter? One, of course. And there are many, many, many more all along and down the front here, as there are beach huts too, but most of the beach huts would have been packed up for the winter by now. Time for a paddle. If I'm not being pestered by cats, I'm being pestered by a gull. Sorry, buddy, I haven't got anything for you. And I forgot my swimsuit. And it's a perfect day. Oh, there's my toes. It's a perfect day for a swim. And you're going to peck me. There is a lady just beyond the groin there having a swim. Oh, it would be perfect today. I think this is getting a little bit too friendly, mist. Oh my, ow! Stop pecking me, please. Ow! What a cheeky so-and-so. Yeah, I'm watching you now, buddy. What are you pecking me for? Oh my goodness. I'm basically just enjoying a quiet moment on the beach waiting for my sister. And I'm being attacked by this little baby doll. I'm not edible. Oh my giddy goodness. Well, I'm obviously coming to you from home momentarily. Sorry if that's jarring in the video. It's just that it's not always possible to get one's camera out in order to give continuity of story when you're immersed in having your fun and when you're with other people. Anyway, as a little introduction to the next bit, we had our little meet-up down in Swanage, had our chips on the seafront, which is a law in England, that when you're at the seaside, you have to have a bag of chips, and hopefully the seagulls don't nick any. So we had that little meet-up, and then we straight away set off for my grandparents' old village, which is one of a cluster of 4 little villages up away from the town, up on the downs. And all these little villages are involved, well, 3 of the 4 are involved with quarrying, as I was explaining a little bit on the train, the quarrying of Purbeck stone. So these little tiny villages, which are sort of hunkered down against the elements, have grown up from the quarrying industry. And there's a little bit of farming in the area too. Really, really small farms, a few dairy cows, some sheep rearing, but that's it. So in this next bit, we set off straight away for one of our favourite walks to a secret swimming place. And it's a pretty exposed place, the top of the down and then climbing down the cliffs. It's very exposed to all the weather that comes in off the sea. As you will hear in a moment, there is so much wind. I mean, we were nearly being blown off our feet. That's perfectly normal there. We love it. It blows away the cobwebs. So excuse the sound. I've left it exactly as it is because I hope it will give you a kind of a sense of how exposed that little bit of the world is. But here we are, leaving the village to go off to one of our favourite little playgrounds. Over the cliffs to my favourite. They're going the wrong way. Left! None of them have been for a while. Often, so I know the way. But look, you see the sea. Beautiful. Where I was earlier in the town. That's the town there. But here, you see this? That's my grandparents' village. This is This is what I call home. Oh, gorgeous. The fields and wind. And the cliffs in the distance. And the sea. And the possibility of oh, I don't think so today. Just to make out, I don't think you can hear me, but this is some very old of the quarry workings. Well, from this point on, at the end of this field, just at the end there, you see the little stile? It's a very, very steep descent from there. I'm going to be sensible. Well, you can see probably here how that cliff drops away. Unfortunately, I'm not going to manage it, which breaks my heart somewhat. But I'm being sensible, so I'm going to let those three go and have some fun down there, and I'm just going to sit and enjoy this beautiful, beautiful landscape of the sea with a gorgeous breeze. Imagine as a child having this as your playground. Right up into the sun for a second. Up, up, up we climb. Yep. This was my playground as a child, where we were allowed to run feral, where I learned all about flowers and trees and insects and animals and respecting nature and respecting the sea, always. How lucky. How very, very lucky. As I've left the other three to go playing on the cliffs, I'm wending my way back up. It doesn't look it on here, but it is quite steep through our secret little passage back up to the top and into the fields. Oh, you have to squeeze through the gorse. This plant is so typical of this chalky heath type land we get down here. Earlier in the year it would have been absolutely covered in beautiful yellow flowers, which You can actually make a wine from, you can make a jam from, all sorts, but my giddy goodness, it's a prickly thing. And oh, there's loads of it through there. This is my little secret trail. Can I get through without getting too prickled? Oh, come on, up the cliff we go. I'm going up the not steep bit, because as I say, my knees just, unfortunately these days, they will not make it down that steep cliff face that the others have gone down. So I'm going to wend my way back up. Oh, ow, prickle, prickle. Wend my way back up this way. Look, it's beautiful. This is Purbeck stone. This is what gets quarried. Such a gorgeous colour. Look at here. It's covered in this. I'm just licking my finger. I can't actually get enough wet. This is clay soil. You see. Oh, look at that. It's really, really clay soil. Highly nutritious. So this is what my grandma was dealing with when she was striving for self-sufficiency down here. But underneath the clay, you get all of this beautiful Purbeck stone. I think it's a type of limestone. It's in that kind of, I think it's in that sort of limestone chalk family, because ultimately, eventually, we're on chalk here, hence the white cliffs. Oh, big step up. Come on, Vivi. Gertrude. Oh, more prickles, wending our way. But yeah, this is the magical kingdom that I got to inhabit. Oh, from the moment I was born. Literally from the moment I was born, all through my life, we would come and spend all the summer holidays and any other holidays besides down here with my grandparents, and they taught me everything. Oh, it's getting narrow and steep again. Oh, ow, more prickles. Right, so what my plan is now, oh, I'm getting puffed with the uphill. What I'm planning to do is get back to their village, and then I'm going to hopefully give you a little look around the village and show you what a little Purbeck quarrying village looks like. First of all, I've got some more course to negotiate, and another corner and another bit of uphill. I tell you what, you know when I said it was my secret area to swim? Can you see now when I said it was a secret? Right, onwards. Keep climbing. Then we'll flatten out and then drop down into the village. Hang on. Let's see how my face is looking and my hair. Oh, you won't be able to see. That's the sun over there. I was going to show you back down the cliff, but you can't see because the gorse is so thick here. So come on, last bit of climbing while my knees are still working, and then I'm going to give you a quick little look around their village. On the way back, I just wanted to show you the construction of a dry stone wall. You can see there are two sides to the wall, starting with large stones at the bottom and building up, getting smaller and smaller, with rubbish stones thrown in the middle just to make it stronger. And then every few courses, a through stone is added. This stone spans both sides and helps to tie in the two sides of the wall. It carries on being built up, smaller and smaller stones, until eventually the coping stones are added, and the whole thing will stand rock solid, possibly, because some of them in the air are, hundreds of years. Well, somehow or other I made it back up the cliff, up over the down, and back down through the fields into the village. Wow. it all took my breath away. It was marvellous. I was then going to film in the village, but I don't quite know where the nerve came from. My grandparents' house was always the very last house in the village before you then got to the fields and the downs and the cliffs. It took all the weather. So coming back from that walk, my grandparents' old house is the first house you come to. And I went and knocked on the front door. I've been back so many times, walked past their old house so many times, and I'm going to get a little bit choked up now, but it's happy choking. I've longed to go into their house one more time, to go into the garden and play one more time, but I've never ever dared to. Anyway, on this occasion, I went up to the back door, because we always use the back door. I didn't even use the front door, oops. And there was a lady in the garden, and I sort of said, hello, waved to her, and she came over, and I basically told her who I am, and that this used to be my grandparents' house, and I don't know what I'm doing on your doorstep, but I just want to come into the garden. It was wonderful. She shouted out, Mom! She's a lady of sort of my age, but she shouted out, Mom! And a lady, I don't know, late 70s, early 80s probably came out. And she was the lady who'd bought the house from my grandparents. So it was still in the same hands. Oh, she remembered my grandparents, spoke very highly of them, and was more than happy to let me go and play in the garden. Oh, it was just wonderful. So, yeah, I went and had a good mooch in the garden. It's very different now to how my grandparents had it. The orchard is gone, all the fruit's gone. The new people have some veggies. I say new people, they've been there 20 odd years. They have some veggies, and they had some guinea fowl scratching around, so I was really pleased to see that the garden is still a garden that feeds them. And there were so many little features, a little step here, a part of a wall there, which haven't changed, and they took me back years and years and years. It was just wonderful, and I just felt my grandma and granddad there. It was wonderful. Anyway, so we played in the garden for a while, and then she said, well, of course you must come in the house. And I said, no, I mustn't. I don't want to invade on your privacy anymore. Oh, it's so emotional. But she insisted, so I went into the house and met her husband, and he remembered my grandparents too. So we were all in the kitchen just chatting away. And by this time, my sister and cousin and his wife had come back from the walk. And I'd originally said I'll be in the village photographing, and then if I'm done there, I'll be at the Ship, which is the village pub. So my sister telephoned me to say, where are you? And I answered very simply, I'm in the kitchen at Greenacres. She's like, what are you doing in the kitchen? Anyway, needless to say, the rest of my family arrived. They went to the front door and rang the bell. And the lady and gentleman of the house welcomed them in, and so there we all were. Our family stood in my grandparents' kitchen once again. Really, really, really super special. So, I didn't actually get to do any filming in the village, so I'm just going to tag on here now just a couple of stills photos, which show they absolutely typify the village and all the other little villages in the area. It's so beautiful. So I'm going to tag those on now, and then just quickly introduce you to the next day when, wow, the rain came and it did not stop. But we didn't care. We absolutely didn't care, because it's such a beautiful part of the world. It doesn't matter what the weather is doing. It's magnificent. So we went to a few places. Some of you may know them. We went to Kimmeridge, which is a beautiful bay, which is where we used to go fossil hunting as children. we couldn't actually go fossil hunting when we went because the tide was so high. We then went to a little place called Tyneham, which was a village which was requisitioned in 1943 by the MOD. The whole village was moved out, and then the village was used as practice for D-Day. So it's an odd place. It's eerie. There's something sort of sad about a whole village being moved out and that village being lost. But of course, we all know the outcome of D-Day, so it swings and roundabouts, isn't it? And then, which you'll see shortly, we went for a little train ride. I'm happy as a pig in mud again. I'm taking the train up from Swanage all the way up to Corfe Castle, but it's the little old line that was closed. You know, I was showing that when I arrived. I'm not making sense. Oh, it's tipping with rain, but my goodness, look, you don't see trains like this so often these days. Let me just show you a bit. Unfortunately, the steam engine is not feeling so well. Look, do you remember these kind of carriages? I'm just going to show you my sister's in this one. Where is she? Are you having a good ride, sister? I'm not going to show you the other two. Hold on a sec. It's fab. The guard's engine, I'm off. And this is the guard's carriage, not guard's engine. Guard's carriage. Look at it. Of course, it's full of prams now. Ah, love it. Absolutely love it. Let's have a wee butchers. And see if I can have a look out of the window. Oh, what station have we come to? Harmon's Cross. Look, isn't that adorable? What a shame though. Hold on. What a shame it's shutting down today.
I just need to see the crew.
There we go.
We'll give you Peter de Groot's
absolutely chucking down.
Yeah, fine, yeah.
So it's not going to spoil our fun. Brilliant. Right, let's go back and find the fan. So you see, I really, really do love my trains. And there's more trains to come. Great day. So the next day we did some more mooching, hanging around in Swanage, in the old town part of Swanage, which you'll see in a minute. A little bit more of the trains, which just, I get a bit too giddy, as you'll see. And then a little bit more beach time in one of our absolutely favourite beaches, which is such a beautifully quiet beach. Truly, we only had a few days there, which wasn't enough. Every time I leave, my heart breaks a little bit. You'll see why in a moment. It's just gorgeous. And one day, maybe, who knows, maybe I will get my little forever home down there. One day, I do hope so. So here we are, off down into Swanage Old Town. Oh, the weather certainly has not been in our favour these last couple of days. But we've come to one of our little favourite places. Oh, it's the little mill pond, where there are photos of both of us going back years and years and years. But it's such a lovely little corner of the town. I'll just show you such typical architecture around here. Of course, these days there are more cars than people, it seems. But yeah, I've not been able to do much filming the last couple of days because it's been absolutely chucking down with rain. So, there's the church. Oh, lovely and squat. This beautiful cottage here, tucked right down in there. That's actually the upper story. It's tucked right down there. But this is, yeah, this is what we think of as home. It's a bit steep. I'm struggling. So yeah, I haven't been able to film nearly as much as I would have liked because of the rain, but I also must say that the rain has not spoiled our enjoyment at all. We've had an absolute blast of a time. So you can see this is all made from Purbeck stone. Beautiful, isn't it? Ow, the sun's coming right in my face. Let me cross over. Let me get a glimpse of a sec. Hold on. Lovely, nestled down there. Look at this one too. Gorgeous. The aptly named Church Hill. It is a hill. You can see it's a hill. There with the church at the bottom. Gorgeous. Right, I need to get my breath back. And it looks like overnight, you see here, they've managed to get the engine sorted. So, on our way home from a walk yesterday, I kind of peeked down into the yard and I spoke to one of the engineers, and apparently it was a steam pipe had blown, which is why yesterday when we came for a ride, we didn't get a steam ride, we got a diesel ride. But they've obviously got it fixed today. Oh, what a gorgeous sight. What a gorgeous sight. So they're going to top it up with some water. This is one of my happy places. Get your water in. And I'm just going to come the other side of this little mini person. Isn't that a gorgeous sight? All topped up coal, ready to go. Off, chopper popping down the line.
In the train? There's some coal at the back of the train, which is for that.
Get filled.
So you're going to move this around and fill it with water. So you put the
there we go.
hose into the water.
Getting a commentary from this gentleman. Thank you very much. Love it. Let me just come back around the other side.
The tank with the water.
Ah, you see now, if I move down here and have my healthy lifestyle of swimming in the sea and walking on the hills, and who knows, maybe doing some volunteering at the Preservation Railway. Can I drive the train? Can I? Can I have a drive? Love it. You can see all the water chugging itself in. Because you don't get steam without water, do you?
The water's coming out that big tower.
Love it.
And it's falling into.
Absolutely love it. What a great sight. I'm guessing there may be a few of you old enough, maybe, to remember trains and stations like this.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Or some of you my age who don't remember it,
Heats the water.
but just absolutely love the engineering and love the romance of it. Ah, brilliant. And the rain has stopped, finally. Right, I'm going to turn you guys off for a minute and hopefully in a few minutes we'll pull out and we'll hear a woohoo.
What's this train's name?
Look at it. Oh, it's a lovely uniform. Everyone's so smart.
This train hasn't got a name by the look of it. All that water.
Someone nearly had an early bath. Now that is a sight, isn't it? Oh, I'm so glad we've got it fixed. Wonderful. Oh, we're going to race off to the bridge because I'm going to try and get my myself all steamed up on the bridge. Quick fix. There she goes. Woohoo! Woo woo! Isn't that magnificent? Love it! And here's our little friend down here looking a bit poorly as well. Oh, happy, happy, happy days. Pig in mud days. Oh, it's very, very nearly time for me to head back to London, and I really, really don't want to go. So I thought, just before I do, I'll bring you to another little beach. Just going to swing you around. This headland over the far, far side is where Swanage is. And this little beach, the tide's really high. Normally the beach is down here, but the tide's really high. This is a little quiet beach, the far, far end of Studland, which, oh, we loved this as children. I love it as a grown-up. It's always plenty of space. Always a couple of guys kayaking today, but there's always plenty of space for just the very few families who come down here to use the beach. You know, it always actually felt like our own personal private beach. So all the huts are shuttered up for the winter now. It really does feel like the season has changed. So, yes, just sit a while and take in a few deep breaths of this beautiful air and drag myself kicking and screaming back to London. Bye. I hope you enjoyed that quick little visit to my dream place, the Isle of Purbeck. So beautiful. The minute I stepped off the train in London, I burst into tears and wanted to go straight back. Oh, I do get down there quite often. This was the first time I've been there with family for absolutely ages. It made it even more special. But like I said, I do get there quite often, so maybe on my next visit I'll take the camera again and hopefully the weather will be better and I can show you some more places. But that's just a little kind of glimpse into the place that has shaped me. I hope you can kind of see from, especially up on the hill near my grandparents' village, I hope you can see how that has given me my love of nature, my desire for self-sufficiency. You know, if my grandparents can do it up on that hill in that weather, then surely I can have a go too. So I hope it won't be too long before I'm back there. I hope it won't be too long before I'm catching up with all of you again. Once more, sorry about the sound quality, but that's nature for you, isn't it? That's nature, and more often than not when I'm there, that weather is coming in off the sea and there's nothing you can do about it except embrace it and let it blow all the cobwebs away. So I shall now say cheerio to you all. I will see you all again soon, I hope, but in the meantime, take care of yourselves and enjoy your memories of your beautiful childhood places too. Take care.